what does a bunny hiding eggs have to do with Easter? And you're like, I don't know, but it's not Easter without it.
Hey, this is Althea.
And Maya.
This is our podcast.
With our powers combined.
Did you not enjoy our last episode with Adrian?
We got wild.
Did you love our hot takes?
I can't believe we aired that.
I'm just glad that we are not canceled.
We kept it fun. We're all still friends.
We are.
We're all still good.
Yes.
All arguments were resolved off camera. We're good. Off mic. We're all friends again.
We're all fun.
But
yeah,
that was the past. Today, it's Easter!
Happy Easter Sunday!
Happy Easter!
I'm gonna put like my effects there. Jesus has resurrected. He is alive today.
And in honor of Easter, last time we talked about like shaking things up, doing things new, getting wild. This time we want to go more into like traditions. What are the things that we hold to? Why? And if there's any good reason to. So given the date itself, it makes sense to start with Easter traditions.
Yep. What do you think about the Easter bunnies?
So here's the thing. I sounded really dramatic. This is going to sound like a pivot, but stay with me. Every year for Christmas as a child, like for a number of years, I have pictures of me and my brother going to Santa. Mm-hmm. I think we have one picture with the Easter bunny and then we never did it again because that guy looks so scary. Santa's like so jolly with his beard and like it was a good mall Santa that we were going to. So he looked so happy. That bunny,
It's not
I don't know about that Easter bunny, but he's not for me.
He
was
was killer
scary.
Bunnies.
Kind of scary. I think it's the eyes. I don't know. There's something about it.
It's always kind of scary to see like Easter bunnies. You really gotta get it right.
It's gotta be cute.
Yeah.
Like this is a very cute Easter
that
bunny.
Cute
Look at her little dress.
Yes,
she's adorable.
Yeah, I love the Peter Rabbit ones and like
I
those
love
ones.
Peter
They're
Rabbit.
cute, but once you get off of Peter Rabbit and it becomes like really white costumey rabbit with like red eyes or black, it's just scary.
There's an Easter bunny that's a little too cartoonish to actually be the mascot. It like starts to feel weird.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
We did do Easter baskets as like a kid. Like I say as a kid. My mom still gives me Easter baskets because I am still in fact a child. But we used to do, I'm trying to remember if my mom told us as children, like the Easter bunny like genuinely like leaned into it, or if she was like, I think the Easter bunny left you something, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Like, but the Easter bunny, we had to hunt for our baskets. Like, I remember one year, my mom had 2 different colored streamers, one for me and one for Adrian, and it led all around the house, and you had to follow your string to find it. My mom is extra in the best possible way.
Yeah.
So we did that kind of Easter bunny, but we knew my mom was hiding the eggs outside. Like, we weren't like, the Easter bunny. My mom was like, okay, you guys go inside. And like, such and such family members are gonna, don't peek. So we like knew.
Yeah. So that's like, sorry, I'm just gonna be but I love that you guys had that Easter, like fun little things. But I don't think in the Philippines we necessarily had like Easter egg hunts.
All right, what do y'all do?
The Philippines is largely a Catholic country, so like when I was growing up, there definitely was more like of that, like in malls and such. Like there would be Easter egg hunt events and like Easter bunnies and stuff like that, because Western culture also, got adapted into the Philippine culture. But I remember because, again, it's a Catholic country, like we would celebrate Easter as a Holy Week. Largely it's more religious than the Easter bunnies and all of those stuff. It's just more recently that the Easter bunnies have gotten,
They've taken over. They've multiplied.
Taken over.
Did it?
The bunnies have taken over. The eggs have taken over.
They've hatched.
They've hatched. But yeah, Holy Week is a big deal. And they would have it's been a long time since I've celebrated Easter in the Philippines, but Holy Week, people won't have like jobs, like work. They would have day off usually.
Wow.
And then you wouldn't have school, so usually it's a time to like get together and be with your family and like literally celebrate Holy Week, the whole thing, Monday, Thursday, Good Friday, all of those stuff. But my family was Christian, so we didn't really go to all of those things.
Yeah.
What we did was more take a vacation and like be together.
Nice.
But there is a thing in the Philippines called sinakulo. I'm hoping I said that correctly. Oh, what is going on? But based on my research, let me pull it back. It's Passion Week, and there would be passion plays.
Oh, okay.
So very interesting. Like, I think they do it in every kind of like, they call it barangays or like subdivisions, like villages and stuff. It's always different in provinces because they would celebrate like different saints and stuff. But usually in Holy Week, they would have passion plays. So in the streets, you would see people literally kind of reenact like Jesus's like Good Friday like scenes,
like his like march up to the
like march up with the cross. Like people would have like crosses in their bags and literally go, and some people would have, I don't know what they call it, but they would literally like slap their backs
like
with
the
something.
like the it's a specific whip, the like cat o' nine tails or something like that.
I don't know what it is, but they would literally whip themselves in the back, and you would see sometimes like blood.
And it's hardcore.
It's wild. And some people really get hardcore, and you would see them like crucified on a cross. But I thankfully did not experience a lot of those things because I think that would just break my heart so much. But I do remember seeing some of those.
I was going to say, I know that we already did our hot takes episode, but hot Christian take, I never saw The Passion of the Christ because I was way too scared to see it. And I know that when it came out, every other like 8-year-old saw it with their family as like a good Christian movie. I'm 95% sure that it's rated R, and I did not go see it. And I'm now a full-grown adult, and I've still never seen it because I'm scared.
I don't know if I've seen The Passion of Christ either.
I have a very distinctive memory. Again, it's Christmas, but stay with me. Of there's a place near here that does like a Streets of Bethlehem kind of thing where they reenact.
Yes, I've heard of that.
And I remember being little, and the actors were very good. They were very authentic, and there was, there's Roman soldiers walking around, and there was a woman who had like a sheep, and she was like, "They're gonna take my sheep," and I was like, "Mom!" And I was like really distraught, and my mom was like, "Maya, it's a play. It's not real. It's not real." And I was like, but she said they're gonna take her sheep. So I was distraught over a woman telling me that soldiers were gonna take a sheep away from her.
Yeah.
So I think I would have passed out if I had seen people being whipped in the street.
I know.
Like that's simultaneously like a really cool like a passion play is real, but also small me would have never.
Yeah, but that's really like the devoted people, like devoted religious people in the Philippines, which good for them, but I just can't.
Good for them. Couldn't be me.
It couldn't be me. But yeah, that's really like Easter. Well, in my own experience, I've like encountered more of the Easter bunnies, Easter egg hunts when I came here.
Do you dye eggs in the Philippines?
I don't know. I can't remember. We've probably done it, but not like annually. Not every like Easter. But like
that's a big deal in our family.
It's a big deal now that we have my nephews, and we kind of let them experience like Easter festivities in America, like the American culture. So we give them like little eggs. We've started when Malachi was like little. We always take a picture of him with like lots of eggs around, and he with a little tiny like bunny. Yeah, every year we do that little tiny picture. But yeah, and then we do a little egg hunt for them. But I didn't really necessarily experience that growing up. So.
Oh, I love an egg hunt, and I just love dyeing the eggs. It was always so much fun. We'd gather all together.
Yes.
Again, I know I keep going back to Christmas, but it only makes me laugh because I feel like a lot of people go really hard for their Christmas traditions. My family went really hard for Easter, and I'm kind of realizing it in the moment.
Right now.
Like, my mom has an Easter tree.
Oh, really?
So we used to make it every year is we
Yeah.
would go out and we would pick sticks from outside and we'd put them in a little basket and we'd fill it with like little fake grass.
Yes.
And then we made Easter ornaments. So
That's
like
so
little
cute.
Easter eggs. We had like a tomb.
Yeah.
We had a cross. We had a little crown of thorns. We had like a little lamb. And then like obviously, like I said, like Easter eggs and a little like chick and little like
Yeah.
Eastery things. And we'd color them and we'd put out our little Easter tree. And we loved that. We loved dyeing eggs, and again, we'd get fancy. Like we'd find the little special like wax crayons
Yeah.
that you can color so that you can make
Yes.
designs, and we would do tie-dye drips. And then I found out very recently that apparently there are people who don't eat the eggs after they dye them.
Wait.
I didn't know that there were people who didn't do that. We always eat the eggs because then we have like
Right.
blue and green and purple like egg salad and like colorful deviled eggs because a little bit of the dye seeps through. And it's like, this is classic. What do you mean people don't do this?
Okay, I'm so dumb. I'm gonna just out myself right now because I was thinking with the eggs, I know you boil them, but I was thinking in my head somehow that they're like empty eggs.
That's what we
dye?
do for the people in the US do this now, but for the cascarones, that's what you do.
Oh,
Which
so they're
is-
different.
You still dye them, but for those they are hollowed out because instead you're filling them with confetti. So it's
Oh.
I personally have never made them homemade because
They're
they're a
hard
little
to make?
finicky because you have to take the shell. So you like take it, you like have to crack it very carefully so that you can get it out.
Right.
And then you dye it and then you fill it with the confetti and then you
Right.
tape it at the bottom and then you crack it on someone's head. My dad hates it because
I didn't know that.
Oh, it's so much fun. We loved it. They're really fun to do. Like I said, my dad doesn't like them because my dad doesn't like a mess. And this is cracked eggshells and confetti. So it's definitely messy. But we've been able to kind of bring it back now that we have like Jade and Ellie and they
Yeah.
think it's really funny. And nothing in the world is funnier to them than doing something silly to Papa.
Yeah.
So they'll crack it on his head and they're like, Papa, it's in your hair. And
He
he's
just
like,
hates it.
yay! I love my grandchildren. Last year we were not able, I think it was last year or the year before, we weren't able to find them. And my dad was like, oh no, we
Oh,
can't
no,
find them.
It's not here. Bummer.
That's like, again, I'm starting to see like more families in like the US, but we see them because we
Right.
live in a predominantly Mexican
Yeah.
town. But that's a really awesome Mexican tradition. It's the only one my family does. I don't know what else Mexico does for their traditions. We should have asked Adrian while he was here.
We should
have prepared.
We should have taken notes.
Next year we'll think ahead and we'll ask him in advance.
But
No, but those are classics. And then have you done an egg hunt since? I know that obviously you've set up an egg hunt
Yes.
for the 50,000
Yes.
as well as for the
I
nephews.
don't think I have any memory of me actually doing. Get me. I probably have done egg hunts, but I don't have like a wild memory that I can remember.
Yeah, your
like,
sister's
oh
about
my
to
gosh,
yell at
yes,
you in
I
the
got
comments.
like probably they would. Just tell me if I'm wrong. Correct me right there. You're free to do so. But like I can't remember. Yeah, I don't think I've done like any family like egg hunts.
That's so sad.
I know.
We should
But
have an
we've
egg
done,
hunt.
We should. But we've done like I probably have done like commercial egg hunts. Like I was telling you, like in the malls and stuff like
Like
that.
gone somewhere and done it, yeah.
Or probably my grandma on my father's side. We've probably done egg hunts with my cousins then. Yeah. Yeah. 'Cause
It's just been a while.
My granddad's American. So my step granddad.
I don't think I knew that.
Yeah.
We'll
the
talk
more
about
you
that
know. The more
The
you know.
point of this podcast is for us to know each other
Exactly.
better. You just get to be
Exactly.
here during the conversation.
Yes. Grandpa Frank, I remember him. He's sweet. But whenever we would go visit our cousins, probably we've probably done egg hunts. But I was too young that I would remember. So
That makes sense.
yeah. But then when I came here, I was the only like kid, so
That's
we
true.
didn't really do like egg hunts. We would probably go and if we saw an Easter bunny, like take a picture with them. But I experience it more through my nephews and nieces. So yeah, setting up egg hunts and like going to egg hunts with them.
That makes sense.
That's fun. I do enjoy like that American tradition though, of like that festivity of just like literally you have random candies in eggs.
Well, as we got older, we started upping the ante because my brother was older, so obviously him and his friends were older, and they're like, we're 14, we're way too cool to do an egg hunt. So my mom was like, some of them have cash inside, and
I was just gonna say that. I'm like, the cash though will get you.
So then they start, and then right now Jaden and Ellie are very small, so we've started kind of hiding the eggs by like, oh, here's like a bush and here's a hot pink egg slightly under the bush so that it's like kind of hidden but not. Opposed to the very first year where we literally just placed eggs on the grass, and that was a hunt. They couldn't find them because they were small.
They don't know what that is.
But my mom's hunts for us was, oh, you see this green egg, I'm going to hide it in a nest in this tree. Go climb the tree and find it. Like, aren't going to spot it. If you happen to spot it, go climb the tree.
That's crazy.
Like, oh, she would find like earth tone eggs and would hide. Like, I swear, it
advanced
was
level
like
egg hunts.
I don't know if you remember this at the old house, but where the outline of the chimney is, there's like a little like baby ledge because she would like hide them up there. So we'd be on chairs, like balancing, trying to grab them.
That's so fun though.
And like when I say like, I think the oldest of them participating were like late teenagers, and we're still like, but what if there's $20 in there?
For cash, I would get it.
I would do it for just like some candy that I like. Not all candy. I know we're not doing hot takes. I'm not a big fan of like jelly beans. I know they're the Easter candy. I don't like jelly beans. I don't like Peeps. I hate Peeps.
Me too.
I think they're gross. But if you put like a little Hershey's candy in there, if you put like those little Reese's Pieces that like
Smarties.
are shaped, I do like a Smartie.
Yeah.
We're getting distracted by the hot take. I'm sorry. It's fresh. It was a lot of fun.
It was.
I like that one. Kind of speaking about things that are weird, like hot takes. Do you ever think about how weird Easter's date is? Do you know the history of what?
What's up with that?
This is petition to change this because this is dumb. Easter's date changes because it's celebrated on the first Sunday after the full moon that follows or coincides with the spring equinox. Now, the spring equinox is always March 21st, but the phases of the moons in relation to the spring equinox changes each year.
Why is that a like church like thing, or is that more just culture people thing?
Like a mix of both. This was technically determined by the Council of Nicaea, which I'd like to talk to them because
who are they?
That's like the people, like the Nicene Creed.
Oh, okay.
While they were determining like who God was, they said, and by the way, this should be how we determine Easter. I don't know why we all got on board with Christmas and we said, yeah, the 25th. We're locked in. We know that historically it was probably closer to April. Who cares? We're all saying December 25th. We're locked in. And for Easter, they were like, what if the first Sunday after the full moon following the spring Why?
Crazy.
Why? Calendars already existed. Why did you do this? And why did we keep doing it?
I know. I thought Easter was always on April, but last year Easter was like in March.
It was so early because that was the first full moon following the 21st.
Petition to change it, please.
Petition to change it. Hot take.
Sign our petition below. No, I'm just kidding. We don't have a petition below.
It really is just wild. There are a lot of things about like the Easter holiday, like in like Western culture, that is really funny and interesting. Like some of it makes sense. Like the fact that, oh yeah, of course a rabbit would be associated with like new life. Like rabbits are very well known for like rapid reproduction. So it's like, yeah, it would make sense that you would be like, oh, something new. Why do they hide eggs though? Like that starts to feel odd, but this is actually crazy.
Is it all related?
It kind of is. So as far back, I gotta find the date for this. In the Neolithic age. This is how far back we're going.
Wow.
Is during this time, hares were given ritualistic burials alongside humans, and archaeologists' theory is that they were religious rites because hares were associated with rebirth.
That's crazy.
And actually during Caesar's time, is hares were not supposed to be eaten due to their religious significance, as they were thinking of them as kind of being tied. So it makes sense in a way that you would have like this idea of something new being related to like eggs, because eggs also are like hatching for something new. So I'm like, I can kind of see the way these two, it was like two different ideas that over the years in mistranslations and whatnot got mashed together as one.
Yes.
So I'm like, I do understand how we got there.
Yes.
But I was like, I don't think that much about bunnies on the regular basis. So I was like, that's crazy and really interesting that people would do that.
That's crazy.
History's fun.
History's wild. I was just taking a look at like when Easter egg hunts start, and it says that Easter egg hunts originated in Germany in the late 16th century, and then somehow all the world now celebrates Easter with Easter egg hunts,
which I just think is funny the way that it is. It's just really interesting the way like we can get so divorced from a tradition but still hold to it.
Right.
Like if you ask some, like so many people will be like, what does a bunny hiding eggs have to do with Easter? And you're like, I don't know, but it's not Easter without it. Like, and that can just kind of become, and I know that there's people right now who are screaming like, it's marketing, it's like the way that, and like, yes, but they had to get us to buy in.
Right.
So at some point, there was enough of a reason, there was enough of a draw in culture to say, yeah, this makes sense, where we could so clearly link this image to this holiday, like so perfectly. And the way that traditions can transform, we're just like, yeah, this is just gotta be something.
Yeah, and like it probably started because people have put a lot of value in it.
Yeah.
And if people did not put value in it, like the traditions, the Easter egg hunts, we won't do it right now. Like we won't think that it's valuable. We won't think that it's worthwhile our time to do if people didn't put value in it. If they didn't think it was significant.
100%. In fact, a lot of like studies have shown that traditions in general hold a really vital role in shaping your identity, in like fostering the idea of community and providing stability. That having some kind of tradition makes you feel like you're a part of something. And it's a really good way of like reconnecting with the past. Like it's also why people get mad at traditions, because they're like, no one knows why we do this. And we're doing something because 100 years ago someone said we do this. Like, come on, give me something more to buy into. Right. But I do think that speaks to sort of an inherent desire to want to celebrate something that makes sense. Like, I feel like the reason like people get fed up with a tradition is because they don't understand why they do it. And it feels like if I don't know why we're doing it and I don't hold sentimentality to it, then I'm just doing something. Right. For what reason? Yeah. But it's also why, like, I have no idea why we stuff eggs with confetti and smash them on someone's head. I do not know if there's any deeper reason behind it. Right. All I know is that it's a lot of fun and that it was a very like fun tradition to have growing up. And anytime I see one at the store, I go, oh, we should get them. Let's do, because it fills me with a sense of, oh my gosh, this is my family is all gonna gather together and we're gonna chase down my dad and put confetti in his hair.
I do think like on that note, it's like the power of tradition is that it strengthens relationships. Like it strengthens like family bonding. Like with you guys, it's like every year, that's one thing that you like look forward to. Like it's not only fun, but it's like interactive and engaging for the family. And it like literally strengthens your relationship. Like right now, like you said, like JJ was I just felt weird calling him JJ. Sorry. Your dad. are now connected with his grandkids with the same traditions that you guys held, like from
that he
past
did as a kid.
Easters. And I was thinking, just like in Holy Week in the Philippines, like we would go to vacations, and that also is something that would bring us together, that you would unite us and would strengthen our relationship. So
yeah, I love it. I mean, obviously it's really fun to like look up like the history and to see like why do they do that and what it is, and it is really interesting. And a lot of times I think it helps, like for example, it can make the holiday make more sense, or can make other things make more sense. But I also think there's just something so nice about a tradition that truly means nothing beyond it just feels good.
Right.
Like I think there's something really great about that.
I'm just thinking about, this is kind of pivoting a little bit from Easter, but it's still traditions.
Yeah.
Like there are traditions that are formed from like globally or nationally and culturally.
Yeah.
But there's also traditions that you just form because of relationships.
Yeah.
And I've just been thinking about like my friends, like the Poots.
Yeah.
Like we now have a tradition of like coming together every Christmas and having Pootmas, as we call it. And that's something that holds us together, and something that we kind of like want to pass on to our children, like in friendships, like this is what you do and this is what you can have, you know. So I think that's one of the power of traditions, is really like bringing back value in relationships and like significance and connection and culture and traditions.
I know that's something that my brother and sister-in-law are trying to figure out right now, and have been trying to do the whole time they've been married, is figure out, man, what are our traditions going to be? Which I think is another fun thing, is that traditions can evolve. Is that just because you've always done the tradition this way doesn't mean you have to do all of it. Like the most basic example of this is the way my mom makes like Spanish rice is a combination of the way that both her grandmothers make it.
Right.
And she's like, I like this, I like that, and these are the things that I liked about it as a kid, these things I didn't like, and has mixed them together and now has her own version.
Yes.
And it's even more special because there's a history attached to it and a way that it's evolved. And I know that was something, like I said, my brother and my sister-in-law had to figure out when they first got married. They said, okay, what do we want to do as like a couple? What are we going to set up?
Yeah.
How much a family do we want involved? How much do we want to just do this? And then once kids entered the picture, it was, okay, and now what of the two traditions that you and I have done for the last like 4 years, what are we going to do now that our kids are here? Are we keeping those traditions? Are we adjusting them? What do we want to pass on? What were our memories that we want to share with our children and we want them to share with their children? And like, I think that's something that's really fun to see. And like seeing that Easter egg hunts are definitely a tradition, that I go out and I hide them, and that the kids wait very eagerly and run around, and Jaden finds the eggs for Ellie and hands them to her, and then he hides them when he realizes there's something good inside. Carrying on the time-honored tradition of older brothers simultaneously watching out for and bullying their younger sisters.
Yes.
But it's fun. And I think it even makes me excited looking at them and thinking, man, what are the things that I absolutely want to continue on one day into my family? And what are things that I'm like, this tradition might die here. I don't think I'll keep this one.
Yeah. You definitely get to have meaningful moments in traditions, but also like you get to be aware of the things that maybe are not working out in traditions and maybe like are unnecessary. So I love that.
Not to take it all the way back to our second episode, but I think something that's also really powerful about a tradition is a tradition, it becomes a tradition like after you agree I'm gonna do it.
Right.
Like the first time you're just trying something. Yeah. And you can always try something and go, this was good. Or maybe not. Maybe I'm not going to do that again. But once you do it the second time, you're like, yeah, this is tradition. And that's kind of really exciting to know that you can just kind of whenever you want start a tradition and you can say, I'm doing this.
Right.
This is going to be my thing. And even like Easter is obviously like an annual tradition, but there are traditions that are monthly. There are traditions that people have that are weekly. I mean, there's some people where they go, yeah, like every day at X amount of time, we always do this. Like even as simple as like growing up, we always had dinner together. We all sat down, The TV was not on.
Right.
Like sometimes we had music on in the background, but it was our tradition to eat to have family dinner together.
Yes.
Like that was
like a full sit down, be
Yes.
present. Exactly.
And I never thought of that as being a tradition. I just thought that's what we did.
Right.
And then I would talk to other friends and realize they didn't do that.
Yeah.
And I watched my brother and sister-in-law come together and they did the same thing. And then with their kids now, I'm like, oh, we're passing on this sort of unintentional tradition
Yeah.
of sharing a meal and connecting together.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, anything that you love and want to continue can become a tradition, which is also really cool.
Yeah, I love that you mentioned that, because like I think about like legacy, like what are the legacies that you leave, and traditions can only be like alive if people actually agree on actually like still doing it, right?
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I hope like good traditions in our families, like reunions and stuff like that. Like we love, you just mentioned like traditions. You're like, you didn't know that is a tradition.
Yeah.
One of the things that came up in my mind was like, our family loves playing games together. Like we love playing Mario together. So that has been a tradition of just like whenever we all have a day off and we all can be together, we literally play like Super Mario together or like the Switch, and we just play board games or like all of those things. And it has become a tradition. And I'm just like, that is so fun. And I hope like that is something that I would love for my family, future family, to like keep on going.
And I also think it's interesting because you said this at the beginning, and I want to go back to it because you said, oh, well, we kind of did some egg hunts because like this side of the family was American.
Right.
I think that's another really interesting blending of traditions is when you get different cultures.
Right.
Where I'm always like, oh, like I love a fusion. I always think it's really, really fun when people come together and say, man, this is what's valuable to my family, and this is why, this is what my history is.
Yeah.
And you go, oh, this is my history, and we go, okay, let's figure out a way to like honor both of them. Like I think that's really cool to both. Again, it's the blend of an old and something new, which I think is the most powerful kind of tradition to do, is to take something that's been long passed on that has legacy and go, and we're gonna make this ours, is just so beautiful. And I love when cultures do it. I love when just different personalities do it. I just think they're beautiful and they're great.
I love it that traditions doesn't have to necessarily, again, it's a hot take kind of deal. It doesn't have to necessarily be the same as how it started before. Yeah. Like you don't have to religiously or like ritualistically follow a tradition.
Yes.
I feel like you can keep, especially like we get to have a diversity in culture.
Yeah.
And like, as you said, like blending of that in families, and even just, I think about America and how much culture there is and how much there are traditions that are just like blended together. Yeah. And I love that it could become that, and that we can just like accept that instead of feeling like we need to hate on it or we need to bash on it because it's not pure tradition, if that makes sense. I think even just like cooking.
Yes.
Like that's an authentic, well, I would just say that's an authentic adobo. Like, what's an authentic adobo? Like, what does that mean? Because my mom cooks adobo one way, my dad cooks adobo one way, right? Yeah. And I could cook adobo one way because, as you said, like, I can mix both because I love both. And it's just like, that's authentic for me.
That is my favorite. People go, this is authentic.
And I was like
okay.
Okay.
I told you that time, right? That I had a friend who said that she didn't like Taco Bell because it wasn't authentic Mexican food. And I was like, yeah, babe.
It's still tacos.
And I wasn't going here thinking it was authentic. I was going here thinking I could get a meal for $3.
Exactly. Yeah, but I think that's what I love about traditions, and I think that's what we should have more of an open mind to following traditions or following cultures. It's, I mean, not to appropriate them, but to appreciate them and treat them with respect, definitely.
Yeah. But, and that's a great place to make your own twist on it. Like, there are things like, as you know, I spend a lot of time on Red Note, and I see like so many beautiful like Chinese like wedding ceremonies, and I think it's beautiful. There's a lot of symbolism in them. I feel like a lot of symbolism in weddings in the US has really been lost in terms of like just a general wedding. Obviously the different cultures within the US have their own things, but there's kind of just the general American wedding, and a lot of people don't really carry a tradition like beneath it in the same way. And I'm like, man, some of these things that they do are so beautiful. And I'm like, is there a way that I can incorporate any of this and that isn't weird? That isn't weird or strange? And I'm like, I guess even in that moment, it's like, no, it's just more incorporating like the heart of what that is and finding a way that makes sense in your context and in like your framework for what makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't know if anything I just said made sense.
I love that you mentioned weddings also, because there are a lot of like traditions in the Philippines with weddings, and it's so interesting because as a largely Catholic country with a lot of also now like Christian people, like I see Christian kind of weddings, and they've adapted some of the traditions from Catholic weddings into the Christian weddings. If that makes sense. Like they have like the coins, the Bible bearers, ring bearers, they have like the rope, they have the candles, like they have all of those kinds of things, and I just think I think that's beautiful that we can do that.
Absolutely. And you know when the most popular time to have a wedding is?
When?
The spring. Brought it all the way back around. Don't doubt me.
I love us.
I love us. I love Easter. It's a fun time of year, and I think it's actually a really fitting time to talk about traditions because Easter is a holiday, obviously with deep roots of where it comes from, but it's also placed in a time that symbolizes new life and regrowth, and that's what like the Easter holiday is about. So I think it's a very fitting time to talk about traditions and the way that we honor them and see where the origin is, and also see how do we make our own twists on traditions to keep them relevant to who we are while still honoring where it came from.
Yes, definitely. I agree.
What's your favorite tradition? What do you do for Easter? Do you dye eggs? Do you eat the dyed like potato salad afterwards?
That is crazy. I've never had that before. A dyed potato salad. A dyed egg potato salad.
Maybe we have leftover. I'll bring you some on Monday.
Thank you.
I'll bring you some to work.
Or are you like me who can't remember if she's done egg hunts?
What are just general traditions that you have?
Let us know. If you're from another part of the world, tell us like how Easter is celebrated.
Or any other traditions you have that you love. We're nosy. We want to know all about them.
I want to know them. I want to see it in the comments and just stalk you guys. Okay, that's enough.
Well, this has been your host, Maya.
And your host, Althea.
And we'll see you next time. Bye.
I don't think we did our let's like follow us on social media.
Oh, that's right.
But it's okay. We'll just wrap around.
Oh, we said we're gonna start doing doing a follow us kind of thing.
Yes. Should we just do that right now? Wildly.
I will tell you,